it's Christmas Eve. Christmas is tomorrow, in case you didn't know. I want to wish all you guys a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. And, I said this last week. What do Muslims celebrate this time of year, other than the death of infidels? All right. Wait, Muslim. Well, they wouldn't have a Christmas. They don't believe in Jesus. What do Muslims do on Christmas? All right, this is NPR, so you know it's going to be nice and liberal. If it was Fox News, I wouldn't have read it. I'll tell you what they do. They plot the death of Santa Claus. All right, for many American Jews, Christmas Day means Chinese food and movies. But how do American Muslims spend their time on Christmas? Jesus is also revered as a prophet in Islam. I didn't know that. Muslims. I always find people when they're passive-aggressively racist, what they do is they deliberately mispronounce, like they say Muslim instead of Muslim, right? I just did that with Islam. I said Islam, but that's just because I suck at reading. All right. Muslims and Christians believe that Jesus is the only Messiah? Wait a minute. There's no way we both agree with that. We're fighting like this. It really is about oil. I don't know what the fuck. Okay. Explains Hisham Mahmoud, M-O-U-D, an Arabic teacher at Harvard University. He points out that Jesus' mother, Mary, is considered by Muslims to be a saint. In fact, there's an entire chapter in the Quran called Mary. And the story of Jesus' birth is recounted in this chapter, he says. This is why I think that everybody sort of was believing the same shit and we just all shut off, It's like the Zildjian factory, when they made symbols, was it Armand Zildjian? He had his kids underneath him. They all were great. And then he dies and the two had got into a fight. And the next thing you know, there was Zildjians and Sabians, right? On Christmas Day, Mahmoud and his devout Muslim family fast. Oh, God, that's so fucking smart. I'm going to be a fucking whale after tomorrow. We also relate the story of Jesus and Mary. He says we read those passages in the Quran and we make sure the holiday is focused through and through on Jesus' peace and blessing be upon him, as opposed to feeding into the commercialization of this holiday. Jesus Christ. Is this real? Or is this guy just nervous because he's in America on Christmas? That's not to say that some American Muslims never participate in more commercial side of Christmas. All the Persians in my community went full-blown Christmas the first year, says comedian Zahara Noor Bakhsh. Wow, that's a fucking sick-ass last name. It ends with K-H-S-H. I mean, my cousins even had a guy come over dressed as Santa. Yeah, I mean, that's like fucking white people celebrating Cinco de Mayo. I celebrate it, and I also say, what day of the year is it? 5th of May, the douchebag. Okay, then there's the not much going on approach. No one did anything in the home of... All right. Oh, Jesus Christ. And then there's the kind of doing something, but not really approach. All right, so I guess there's a bunch of different ways to do it. I didn't think the Muslim people even addressed... Now, wait a minute. Do we address Muhammad? You know what the problem is religion is so fucking boring as a kid that you just want to get away from it as an adult. So now that shit's actually interesting to me. So it's all sort of the same people. So it's kind of like a religious supergroup, right? Where you got Lennon, McCarthy, Ringo, and George Harrison. You got Jesus, you got Muhammad, you got Abraham, right? He's the guy who led people out of the desert. And then who's the Pete Best? Who's Ringo? Buddha? I don't know. And they all kind of say the same shit, right? You know what's fucked up? The other day I was on a hike and I went by some desert plant that literally had like a stinger on it, and I hit my finger on it and it felt like I got stung by a bee like a minute later, and now my finger just in that area is black and blue. But I don't have any tingling or anything like that. So being that I'm a guy, I won't read up on it, nor will I go to the doctor. So if I die by Monday, just know it was some sort of... exotic desert plant. All right. Well, you know what? Then happy fasting. I used to do that once a week. I got into fasting for a minute. I would do it like once a week. I'll tell you, that's a great way to stay in shape. Just not eat one day out of the fucking week. Provided if you do it the right way. When you don't eat, you're not supposed to then just get out and drive a car and go to the gym and shit. You're supposed to like fucking chill. and relax the whole day, which of course I never did because I'm a maniac. I actually know somebody that has a friend that the person eats every other day. And I got to tell you, they're in great fucking shape. You know what I mean? Okay. Well, I've talked myself into a corner. Well, listen, have a Merry Christmas.